might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male G.O.D., one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Relations. My name is Kana.
It's your boy, 51 Spade, Alpha Male G.O.D., a.k.a. the ninja you love to hate.
Yeah, we have two exciting topics for tonight. The first one is toxic relationships. How do you know you're in one and how to get OUT out? And the second topic is how to communicate better sex with your partner.
Uh-oh.
Yep. One intense one fun one.
Maybe.
Well, they'll both be fun, naturally.
Of course they'll be fun.
But they're going to be intense.
So what we tackling first?
Let's take the intense one first. Let's talk about toxic relationships. And I'm really kind of nervous about this one because I don't know if I've recognized if I was in a toxic relationship or not. You know what I'm saying? You know how you could kind of characterize the relationships you've been in with one word? I don't know if I would use toxic for any of them. So I think I'm going to have you start us out with, how do you know that you're in a toxic relationship?
You're saying every relationship you've been in, you don't know if it was toxic or you don't know?
I just wouldn't use that word to describe the relationship. If I'm talking about it in past tense, I wouldn't use the word toxic for any of them. Well, that's weird.
Well, one thing about a toxic relationship, I don't think people know when they're in a toxic relationship. I've never really seen people in a toxic relationship and recognize it while they're in it. It's kind of like, and when you're in that picture, you don't see the frame anyway. But other people recognize it. So I would say in the relationships that you were in, you would have to probably think about people. You know how you have an afterthought, and then you have your friends and be like, oh, I didn't like him, girl. Or they.
But just because your friends didn't, I understand what you're saying. Those
I'm saying
signs that you may have been in one based on what your friends were saying.
No. I'm saying you said I'm not sure if I was in a toxic relationship, but then I'm saying your friends could have been saying certain things. So you know how you have a light bulb moment, and then you'll say, you know what, my friend didn't like them. He was taking me away from my family. It's certain things that you start to think about after you come out of a relationship that your friends that probably even reminded you of. But I'm gonna say with toxic relationship, this is a tricky one because you really kind of now have to narrow down what do you consider toxic.
Yeah.
And for different people, it's different things. You have abusive relationships that could be toxic. You could have, I would say a lot of women sometimes say they're probably being used in a relationship where they're being used and then they feel like the guy is verbally attacking them and trying to keep them in a certain spot that makes them toxic, and vice versa. It can happen to guys too, where they're being hit with ultimatums. You need to move in at this certain date. You need to marry me by this certain date. Those could be toxic relationships too. So
you're saying really, it sounds like, because everything you've said so far could be a topic on relations. So you're saying the very issues that you're having in a relationship, those things could be the making of a relationship that is toxic.
It could be.
In general, because of the things that you're clashing about.
It could be. I mean, I boil a relationship down to happiness. And when I boil it down to happiness, I don't think that we're going by the same... I don't think we should go by the same rules as probably someone like my parents or their parents, this and that, because a lot of things done change now. So I'll start giving scenarios.
Okay.
So for me, I'll say for one, it's I think that, and it's not for everybody, but I'm just going to throw it out on the table. Sometimes we might need separate houses. You probably could be around someone so much that we're fighting every day because of that. We're just in so much close quarters that we're fighting every day. So we might need separate houses. That's just, in my opinion. I might not want to see your motherfucking ass every day. sometimes give me the opportunity to miss you, and I can't miss you trapped in a house with you. Building a man cave is okay, but I might need a whole motherfucking crib.
Okay. You know what? I really want to be careful when we're relating things like pleasurables to the word toxic. I think toxic is a very strong word. I think toxic is like subject to the word poison, which in a way is, I will say this, toxic kind of means killing your spirit. Mm-hmm. If you're in a relationship that's killing your spirit, yeah, get out. But if you're in a relationship where you're just tired of seeing the person that you're supposed to love every day, that's an issue for me. That's not toxic.
But what I'm talking about is the fighting, not the actual idea. I was giving the example of if you're in close quarters somewhere and you're always
fighting still,
and you're always fighting every day.
That's human nature. If you're not meant for a relationship, if you're not, you can't duke it out.
It could be, and that was the other thing that I was gonna bring up. Sometimes that might be the idea too. That might come to the point where you might not need to be in a relationship. Some people find out things about their self to say that, you know what, I probably shouldn't be in a relationship, but that doesn't mean that that person isn't toxic to that person. So even though you're focusing on the idea of this person moving into a house, that's also what I'm saying. Like, that person could be toxic for that person. I'm gonna give you an example. I was in Walmart, and this was the craziest shit that I had ever seen, but I was like, damn, you know what? Men do act like that sometimes. So I was in Walmart, happened to be walking past this couple. Didn't hear the whole conversation, but obviously the guy was getting paid, I guess, the next day. So the girl was, the woman was in there, the woman was in there, and she was like, well, won't we can get this right now. And he said to her, he was like, I get paid tomorrow, and we can pick that shit up, tomorrow. Your fat ass always thinking about eating. I mean, he said that shit like, I heard him, like, as I walked by. But I was saying to myself, like, damn, that is his lady. And that nigga just said, your fat ass always thinking about eating. He was like, I get paid tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that put me right there into what I'm talking about, like a toxic relationship. Because I was saying, damn, don't call your lady
a fat ass.
You know what I'm saying? In public, you know what I'm saying? So,
it makes me feel
but I was saying to myself, like, damn, if you're doing this in public,
what do you do at home?
Behind closed doors gotta be
going down.
Gotta be an all out knock 'em sock 'em, right, you know, thing.
Yeah.
So
safe to assume.
So obviously they in a relationship, but there's certain things that's triggering him. Mm-hmm. So now that's why I said, like, it's a toxic relationship. It could be that most men think about money. You know what I'm saying? So obviously at that point in time, some of those things is falling on his shoulder. Excellent. So I can actually, you know, I could kind of somewhat see exactly where he was coming from, because it's like, you think about spending money, I gotta make money.
Right.
So I get paid tomorrow, but your ass want me to spend money now. Yeah. Money that we ain't fucking got. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could go a lot of different ways.
I really think this boils down to not all relationships are toxic, but people can be. And I think that when you said that, I was actually having that thought before you said it, but I'm glad you said it so that we're both in agreement about one thing, is that it's not always the relationship. Sometimes it's just the individual that is toxic to the other person, meaning they bring out negative, and I think negative does kill the spirit.
And also communication. A lot of times it might be hard to communicate certain things. I noticed that, just like what I was saying about your friends sometimes can say certain things about their relationship that they don't communicate with their man. So they'll say to you, like, girl, he do this, or he's always home, or he's always playing a video game, he don't pay no attention to me, this and that. And those cause fights, because that type of shit builds up in her, right? And it's not coming out, and then it just explodes on the man, right? And then the man could have certain things going on too. So I was saying, sometimes, not to say that money cure everything, space can cure certain things. That's why I actually brought up, like, you know, sometimes we might have to be in a separate house. Doing shit I think is conventional that we've been taught, raising, growing up, I think also needs to change, because I think relationships have started to change too. We have a lot of role reversals going on now. You have women who want to be men, men that want to be women. And when I say that in the sense of they got stay-at-home dads now.
Yeah.
Not saying anything wrong with that. I'm just saying a role reversal.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, women might be able to handle working and doing the workload and be fine coming home, and some aren't. You know what I'm saying? It's different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Those things could also cause fights, because even though that woman might be working, she could come home and certain things could trigger her, and they could lead into fights.
So, one of the questions we asked about toxic relationship was how to identify that you're in one. Because really, little individual fires that end up being put out, I think are okay.
So tell me something. Tell me,
having an occurring fire
so
about the
something.
same subject over and over again might be a sign that you're heading down
I can't
kind
really,
of a toxic path. If you're having the same fight over and over and over again over years, then I think you know.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you're having the same fight with the same person over and over again, are you in a toxic relationship?
I just said it's a red flag that you might be in one.
Okay.
Because
but I'm asking you your personal opinion.
Yeah, because that's the fire that you keep putting water on that just keeps reigniting. So what is the real issue? I'm not saying that you're in a toxic relationship, but I'm saying you need to take that subject matter and really dig deep and find out if it's ever gonna burn out. Because especially if it gets worse and worse every fight you're having. You know, first it was just y'all went to bed mad at each other. Next time y'all slept in separate rooms. It just, the fight keeps growing and growing and growing. So you might just need to reevaluate that subject. Like this subject right here, we never gonna see eye to eye on, and it causes us to be ugly to each other, like the ugliest we ever get.
Okay, so what do you do at that point in time? If you're constantly in that scenario, because I could say for me, then I must always be in a toxic relationship, because I repeat myself more than one time, more than 2 times, more than 3 times, more than 5 times.
But that's why I said ask yourself, does it get worse every time you argue about it? There are things about that situation that you have to ask yourself. Like, do you see it never being solved? Is it so bad that this actually makes you not want to be with the person? There are things you need to ask yourself.
For me,
to make that assessment.
For me, yeah. I can honestly say, if I'm constantly saying to myself, we arguing about the same things, I won't say it to her. I will say it to myself, and I'll say this relationship probably ain't gonna last. In all honesty, like if I'm constantly fighting about the same thing,
okay,
I just think that, you know, I'll pull the plug. And like I said, if I'm in a relationship, I either see light or dark. So it'll be light and it'll start to dim, because I'm probably talking about the same shit
over and over again.
Yeah.
And
I'm quick tempered too.
Right, but my answer is, you say, okay, what do you do? For me, if I'm thinking well to do, which I hope one day to be, is to get counseling and say, you know, listen, this one subject we just can't get over. Something happened in his past or something happened in my past, and this one thing we just can't see eye to eye on. If we can't fix it, the relationship is over. I think that's when you know. When you, like you said, like when you start having the thoughts like, damn, it's just this one thing I just can't see past. You need to keep it real with yourself so that you don't invest unnecessary time. If it's something that you just can't deal with, and I'm kind of glad that we're going that direction with it, because again, sometimes we pick from other people's lives, and I have a couple of friends. One issue that keeps coming up is the issue of children that will never go away. Another issue is
the children issue, as far as what?
Just lots of issues.
Okay.
Kids. Just leave it general.
Okay.
Kids, and you know what? I'm also glad I said that, because parents are probably around, if they're listening, saying, you know what? That is something that let's take discipline.
Mm-hmm.
He like to whoop ass. Mama don't believe in spanking.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you grow up with. That's not going to go away. And if you don't share kids together, and you're talking about you got kids, the man got kids with another woman,
mm-hmm.
and this female got kids with another man,
mm-hmm.
and they talking about cross-disciplining, that's a no-no.
See,
that ain't never going to go away.
Really,
so how can we fix this?
I don't think you can fix that. But that's also why I avoid women with children. To each his own, every man is different. There are some men that can come into women's life and women can give them the reins to discipline. I'm an ass kicker, and I'm not necessarily sure that will fly Because I kick my own kids' ass.
Well, wait a minute. Now, let's say, but I think that's easy for you to say, but I wish that you were in a current relationship where you were having a baby and your wife, the person that's having your kid, doesn't believe in physical discipline. That would force you to kind of deal with it differently.
Yeah, but no, it wouldn't. It would not, because I was raised that way. Even with the kids that I have, my mama don't believe in hardcore discipline, and neither did my baby mama. Okay. They don't believe in hardcore discipline. But you had because I'm the head of the household. Is the head of the household like what? I'm just gonna let them fucking run them up? Like, that's not happening. But those are my kids. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, kicking somebody else's ass kids, you open up like a total whole different door of what's going on, because now you're dealing with not only their kids, but now you're dealing with also if they're dealing with their baby daddy on the other side.
Yeah,
so now you're dealing with them.
Yeah.
And that can go, hey, them lines could get so blurred, they go so left, because it's like, if I kick this man's kid's ass, he might feel a certain way.
And so and I'm glad we're touching on it, because that's why I said I'm glad we got deeper, because when you use the word toxic, you have to pick a subject that is so deep. But is that word?
But is that toxic to kick somebody else?
I'm talking about the situation.
Oh, okay, the situation. Okay.
Being in a situation where there are children involved, having to cross discipline. That is, I'm not a mother, but I can't imagine loving a man so much you want to marry him, you want to spend the rest of his life with him, but there's an issue with my children. That you are in between a rock and a hard place. There's a lot of people listening saying, fuck that, I'm going to choose my kids. But it's a lot of mothers listening that have already chosen the guy that they're with. And it must be like torture. And I think that is the appropriate situation to use a word like toxic, because it does poison your spirit. It can make you really, really, really unhappy. Even unhappier to stay in the situation and try to juggle both. To make the kids happy and make the guy happy.
Yeah, and a lot of times that don't work. And I often say, when women juggle shit, or what I call, like, they're trying to juggle and smooth shit out, I almost say like you're almost trying to pray some shit away. That shit don't work. Like, you're trying to make this person happy, and you're trying to make this person happy, and it just don't work, because in those private conversations that you having with that individual that you trying to smooth shit out, they both have problems. I don't like the way he talking to me. I don't like him putting his hands on me. You know, it's a no end.
And that's why you can use the word toxic. That's why I said my example was little fires, you can put them out, no big deal. But there's this one fire that just keeps growing. And another one, I was talking about several friends that have issues with kids, but another one, a new one that I've never encountered, was sexuality. You have a guy that likes the other sex.
Ain't nothing to talk about.
Okay, that thought alone would be toxic to my spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Something that deep is what I relate to being toxic, is why I'm bringing it up. Not to go to that subject. We're not talking about it tonight. But I'm using subjects that could be toxic because they are big enough to poison you on the inside.
And see, the thing about that is, I don't consider that a toxic relationship.
How not? If it's poison, if she doesn't believe in it, and has never even dealt with it, it could weigh you heavy, laying my head on it. You know why? Because you're thinking about disease. You're thinking about a whole bunch of shit when you're talking about having a guy that likes the opposite sex. It opens you up to a whole bunch of thoughts on your pillow at night that can fucking give you a stroke. That's toxic. That's pain. That's a deep. That's some other shit. That type of situation creates.
Yeah. And you saw all that shit that you just said. I'm laying on my pillow, thinking about those thoughts, thinking about what I'm going to do, thinking about disease. The only thought you should be thinking when you experience that is exit. Gone.
Which brings us to the second part of the toxic question. How do you know that you're in one, and how do you get out? Perfect. Keep going.
I mean,
how do you get out? It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because I figured it will come to that point. Okay? Recognizing that you're in a toxic relationship, that could be difficult. But what I often say is happiness is kind of what I'm trying to stay on. And I think those are the signs that people are missing. that shit that you saying is gonna give you a stroke ain't making you happy. Those worries and those thoughts about I could probably get a disease, this and that, those are worrisome to the soul.
They are. They are heavy.
So
yeah,
when you say to me, like, how do you get out? That should really just be the thing right there. Like, these things are not make you happy. Now, I'm not saying it's simple. You know, don't get what I'm saying twisted. But I'm saying you recognize this shit. Those things that make you unhappy, like for me, when things make me unhappy, I'm thinking about an exit strategy. For me. Just for me. I'm often thinking about.
But don't all those little fires that you have with people make you unhappy? Oh, I'm happy right now. I want happiness again. You put the fire out and you go back to being happy.
No.
So I don't want to misconstrue every unlucky thing that happens to you or every bad day you have doesn't equate to toxicity. It just doesn't. That's fucking life.
Having fights in a relationship is one thing, but that doesn't necessarily it makes me unhappy. I'm gonna tell you why. I saw this couple. I think I was looking at another podcast, and the woman on there said, and I've never done it, but when she said it, I feel like, damn, you know what? That's a good idea. She said, no matter how much me and my guy fight, she like, we could be in that house mad, but we got to fuck each other before we go to bed. And I'm thinking to myself, that takes a lot of fucking strength to be mad and say, still take this pussy. Or I'm still finna take some dick. But she was like, that's how it is. She said, I'll come into the bedroom and like, come get this pussy. And she said that she kind of like with an attitude. And I'm thinking to myself, is the guy, he still got that shit too. And that takes a lot to do that. But that also showed, but that showed me that, you know what? I need to try that to see if I'm that fucking mad, and instead of going to bed, hopping in the bed, turning over,
your back, yeah.
And she say, come get this pussy. And I be like, I beat it up and I can still go. And she say, I'll still go back to being mad after.
Perfect segue for the second subject of the night. How to communicate better sex with your partner. How do we talk about it?
That's a hard one. And you know why?
It is hard.
I never really thought about this, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think sex is one of those embarrassing, it can put you in the most embarrassing state. Because there's some motherfuckers in here in some kinky shit that they just like they self. And you have to explain that shit to your spouse. So I think the problem really gonna start with that. Just communication is a whole. It's like, how do you tell your significant other, and I'm gonna go to the extreme. How do you tell your significant other that they smell? You know, and that's a crazy scenario because I was on Twitter and I saw this.
Okay.
This woman said that her breath, she felt, kept her husband from kissing her.
Okay.
So she was like, my breath, she's like, I done tried gargling, she done tried brushing, she done tried doing different things. She was like, but she noticed that her husband doesn't like to kiss her. And she said it done got worse over the years. Now, I don't know if they've had this conversation, but that's what I'm saying. They probably wouldn't need to have this conversation because she want to get kissed or this and that. Now, you could often say, that, you know, like, I think when shit like that start happening, you do like most people, you know what I'm saying? You hand them a Listerine strip, you hand them gum, you start doing like certain shit, just hoping like they take that hint. Like, you know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers still know, getting in the bed, not brushing your teeth, you know what I'm saying? Like, just different shit that's going on. And like I said, it starts with communication. So if you want the passion that's coming from that, she can't even start the passion because he's like, boy, the breath is killing me.
Yeah, so
and I can't even.
Like,
I can't even.
He's already turned off.
He's already turned off.
Yeah.
Let's take from a female end. Some females like El Grande dicks. Like they might like big dicks.
Right.
And their significant other might be smaller.
Right.
How do you tackle that? You a woman?
Well, I think different strokes for different folks. I think things you say at the right time, you definitely don't want to turn a person off. But this is the first thought I had when we said that we were going to talk about communicating better sex. The first thing I thought of interesting enough, was the male ego. When you challenge a guy on better sex or on doing things that make you feel good, I feel like they just don't take it well. I really don't. And
How you figure that?
One, it'll turn into that. Well, you was stank, or your breath was stank. You know what I'm saying?
But how does that make this shit not valid?
Turn around on the female first before they admit what they did.
Okay,
you know that's gonna be the first thing that somehow
it's gonna learn into a fight.
You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is he's not gonna own up to, you know what, we're gonna try that, or I'm sorry, I'll try that, or I'm sorry, I'll try to do better. I don't think that might come out later, but I think when she first stands up in the paint and tells you how to.
So tell me something that's wrong. Is it that you're talking about specifically, so I can.
So you want me to pick an issue that I would have, and then
I'm yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying, well, as a guy, I just want to see what you're gonna bring up for me to say. You know, like, I can handle that. I can't handle that. Most guys can handle that. Like, that's so broad. I don't know what you. I mean,
it could be just position. What is if it's positioning? What if you have a guy that he just likes you to ride? That's his favorite thing is, I want you to ride the dick. What if she don't get off like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say she been riding the dick for 3 weeks. Now in the 4th week, she like, look, babe, you know, I ain't been coming. So I know you've been giving me dick, but for 3 weeks straight, I ain't busted no nut because I just don't come like that. Can I get fucked on my back?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's going to come up with an excuse rather than say, you know what, I'm sorry about that. And first of all, there's got to be background to that. Maybe if they're in a relationship, he might already know that she don't come like that. So then that leans into a little bit of selfishness where it's like, okay, that's how I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So sorry. You know, so there are other factors that'll take you to how the people are really communicating with each other. Was there background to this? Has he done it before? But just her telling him, I don't think he's going to respond well no matter what. But how you respond is going to give the background of how they've dealt with it in the past.
Well, I would just say this. If the response is something that you're talking about that's happening right then and there, and then things afterwards don't change, then that would be regards for it, this and that. If you're talking about an incident, I just don't, if you're talking about an incident, it depends on when you bring that up. And I think when it comes to sex, it's like a two-way streak a lot of times. So sometimes you might have to find out what's wrong with the other person. The thing that it comes with sex is like it's a two-way streak, and people can pick and choose when they want to be selfish and vice versa. Like if the guy don't feel like fucking that night and then you're trying to get fucked, I could see that happening.
Okay, let's stop there. Stop there. I think you should stop there. Because that's a good way to get deeper into this conversation. I feel like men are good at, men and women on individual basis, and there's something that they want. There's two people in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you know what? The same applies when we're talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare, I think, that every time people have sex, they both wanted to have sex. Somebody got a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody been working all fucking day. Somebody back hurt. Somebody knee hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Someone been taking care of the fucking kids. When you're in a relationship, there's two. And when I need to get off, I want my man to say, bite the bullet. Sorry you don't fucking feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure when you wanted your dick sucked and my throat hurt, I made fucking do.
Mm-hmm. And
you probably didn't even know my throat hurt. Or you didn't know I had a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to turn you off at the time. You want your dick sucked? Guess what? Getting the goddamn suck it. You're not going to even know I got a damn headache. I'm just going to suck your dick and move on. So I expect the same in return. Period. I very rare hear violins, it's time to have sex, honey. It's always one wants it more than the other one. One wants to play video games. The other one been masturbating in the room for a fucking hour trying to get off. Waiting for you to come to bed. That's just the nature of a relationship. So it's not going to always be both of them want to have sex at the same time. So somebody got to bite the bullet. And it's got to be every single time. Now, there are some instances where, okay, I feel you. That's you got the fucking flu. Or you just really don't feel like it. You had a bad day. Kobe died. I get it. You don't have to fuck me. But on a normal, or more commonly, I would like for it to be, if I need to get fucked, that is not a problem. Because not fucking your girl gonna lead to somebody else fucking your girl, or lead to her being unhappy and miserable and bitching all the time. There are just too many things that could happen if you don't take care of home. Too many things, too many different scenarios could take place in that relationship, basically because you just didn't feel like it. Come on, man. Some women don't feel like fucking cooking after a long day. Some men don't feel like taking out the fucking trash. Well, guess what? It just gotta be done. So does fucking me.
I feel like whatever you sign up for, unfortunately, the shit that you're saying sounds good. Not realistic, but it just sounds good. I'm going to say this. You know what you sign up for a lot of times when you're with an individual. Life, a lot of times, just ain't fair. And that's just the reality of it. Wanting to fuck somebody and getting them fucked a lot of times is not the same thing, or is saying that it has to be done all the time. Like, I just don't think that's gonna happen. If someone is sick, or let's just say, for instance, like if my girl have a headache, this and that, she don't want to fuck, hey, I can't make it. I'm not finna be mad about it. That's the difference between a woman and a man. You're bitching about it, being a bitch and bitching about it. Just point blank period. A lot of times someone ain't, and a lot of times, especially with men, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but women often ignore a lot of shit when it come to men. They just assume, like that shit that you just said, like, let's say, you say, well, hey, he in the other room, I'm in the other room masturbating, he in the other room watching TV, playing games or whatever, this and that. So you in hornball mode, and he's in another mode. So to make these modes, progress, they got to be in the same goddamn vicinity. You understand what I'm saying? So while you in hornball mode, I would actually say to myself, like, I probably need to spark something.
Send him a picture,
I probably need to spark something on that end.
Yeah.
So, but don't have me hobble in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be so many things going on. He have a headache, bright lights. He's probably out there, probably sitting up because he don't want to fucking lay down because his back hurt. It's a lot of fucking things that come on, and the last thing you want is a fucking woman jumping on your fucking ass.
Okay, but that's why we're
talking. Hold on,
I let you talk. Communication.
I just let you talk. Yeah, but what you just gave.
Should she not say anything?
I just let you talk. You can talk after I'm done.
Go ahead.
I let you talk.
Finish.
So, you just said that. What I said to you was, you're in a bitch mode about that, because guess what? You didn't communicate about that shit either. You're just complaining about what's going on, this and that.
Okay. There's a difference between communicating and complaining.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, if someone comes to me complaining, that's actually how the fight is actually going to pursue and get into it. Because there's two people now saying, well, I felt this way and I felt this way. They're just not on the same path. Now, majority of the time they're on the same path, everything is fine. But to have a hiccup here and hiccup there, and this person feel like, well, shit, I'm trying to bust a nut. I'm not trying to get my back broke. I'm trying to actually get the fuck up in the morning.
Eat some pussy.
It's two different things. Well, you can't eat pussy if it still requires some movement. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna go back to another thing that you said. Or I'm gonna show you something else. So you said communication, because I'm glad you brought that up. Say communication. This is the other thing that you brought up that I also had a problem with. You said that sometimes someone will just fucking bite the bullet, you know what I'm saying, just for it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want your dick sucked? You know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm going to suck your dick at this and that. Now, communication goes this way. And this is often what happens with females. They're in the mood. You're not in the mood. I could just keep my dick to myself. I don't need to fuck you at all. Let's just go into that scenario. I don't feel like fucking you tonight because I'm in pain. So instead of me saying that, he did bite the bullet and fucked you anyway. It just wasn't the way that you wanted to be fucked. You asked to get fucked and you got fucked. But you just didn't like the way you got fucked. Now, either one of those scenarios, she's going to be a bitch. If I don't fuck you, you're a bitch. And if I do fuck you, you're still a bitch. Point blank.
Fucking me was me to bust a nut.
That's right.
So if I didn't, you damn right I'm gonna be a bitch.
That's right. So keep your bitchness to yourself.
Shit.
But my thing is, we talked about communication, and that's what I'm saying. sometimes when the guy, because you just said, tell him to bite the bullet.
Right.
Sometimes when the guy is biting the bullet, that's what he feels like he's doing. He feels like he's biting the bullet. I'm not in the mood to fuck. And now she
But I'll fuck her like this.
No, it's not about that. That's not about that. You're talking about context.
Communication is a two-way street.
Got that. But you're not going to communicate.
If the person in the relationship that's feeling like, okay, my back hurt, I really don't want to fuck her, but you know what I'm saying? Why not just say that? Instead
I just told you why. I just
having
told you.
sex with her
I
in a
just
fashion
told
that
you why.
she was not gonna like.
I just answered your question before you even asked that question. So we're gonna rewind again.
Good, please do.
I said, if I don't fuck you, you're gonna be a bitch. And then if I do fuck you, you're still a bitch.
But if you communicate that you can't because you're in pain, I can't see that person
but
not finding another way to make it happen or just laying off.
Gotcha, stop. But this the thing. I just said that sometimes in that person's mind, they might feel like they biting a bullet. You get what I'm saying? So by them biting a bullet, they're saying, listen, she wants to fuck this and that. Now, I just say this. If this person has never came in whatever position that you're talking about, I could probably see it as a problem. But if they have before, that does not mean that this individual, guy, woman, knows that you came at that particular point in time. And that's the problem to me, is you see it as a whole. You understand what I'm saying? Because if he say to himself, she done came in this position before, so I'm going to try to make her come in this position and preserve my back at the same time. That's what the fuck he's trying to do. And he's biting the bullet at the same point in time. You get what I'm saying? But the woman ain't feeling like that. All they know is this. Now, unfortunately, I didn't make us. You know what I'm saying? I tell every woman this. A man can come off a donut hole. He just needs a hole. It does not fucking matter. It's not the same for women. But that ain't our fucking fault. Trying and failing is two different things than not trying at all. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how it goes sometimes.
Okay, so, and I respect that answer. I'm not going to rebuttal that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say is not a rebuttal to what you're saying because I agree. But I still think the communication in there, in what could happen to make her aggravated, could be better. Because I'm talking for me personally. But
guess what?
If there's an issue with you getting me off, just say it. But don't take no chances. That's just for me.
But listen. But you're contradicting what you said. You're contradicting what you said because you're contradicting it by saying sometimes I want to fuck and this other person don't want to fuck.
And you hold on.
Exactly. And you said, and so he should bite the bullet. Now, if he bites the bullet, that's why now you see where I'm going because I said no way you go because this is a lot of things that happen with men. Men a lot of times feel like they in a trapped mode. It's like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I don't, it's gonna end up into a fight, and if I do, it still end up into a fight. So you said, well, hey, if you can't, then hey, let's just not do it. But if I say, listen, I don't want to, can't do it, this and that, the attitude's still coming. And if I fuck you and you still didn't get off, the attitude's still coming. So that's why I said you in a trap mode. And the woman's gonna be a bitch no matter what. She's a bitch getting dick and a bitch not getting dick. It's like a no-win scenario.
Okay, I'm gonna
and go ahead.
I'm gonna say this: presentation is everything. It's the way you damn say it, especially if this is a big deal. This person is having a meltdown. She's upset, or demanding, or has put you in a position where you feel like, damn, I need to bite the bullet. It's done got to a level where I'm damned if I'm doing, I'm damned if I don't. Communicate what the fuck is happening. And say it in a way that you're sorry. My back hurts, sorry. That ain't gonna work for a person who feels some type of way about being pleased by her partner. You have to be. Hold on, I'm not finished because I want to use a really good example. Mm-hmm. There was this episode of The Cosby Show where Tempest Bledsoe, I think her name was Vanessa, on the show. She had gotten married, and she was so scared to tell her parents.
I must have stopped watching The Cosby. I didn't even know the bitch got married.
Yeah, she snuck off. She eloped, and
sure that wasn't Denise.
No, it was definitely her.
Oh, okay.
And she said he got over it at some point, but he
got over what?
He got over that they got married. But while the struggle was going on, while they were dealing with the actual drama, he said it's not what you did, it's how you did it. And he said, your favorite dinner is steak and potato. How would you like it if I served it to you on the top of this garbage can? Does everybody remember that episode? Anybody? He actually put the steak and the potato. How would you feel if I served it to you like this? And he put that steak and potato on the top of that garbage can tray in her face. And it's like, fuck. Love is a great thing. Sex is a great thing. The communication that we're even having, that's great about sex and about our issues. But if you can't communicate what's happening in a pleasurable and a sincere way, like, I'm sorry that I can't fuck you tonight because my back hurts. I'm going to make it up to you. Cuddle me till I fucking sleep. Do some shit to make me feel like, you know what? Babe, back hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ride this one out. It's just not just disregard, just get in the bed, don't say nothing. It's just a lot of things that a woman does around the house that let you know she want to get fucked. And for you to ignore it like you don't see it, you don't hear her huffing and puffing, you don't hear them damn doors goddamn slamming, you ain't recognize that attitude she had all goddamn day, and you damn sure know that you ain't fucked her since last Friday. You know she got a goddamn attitude. Say something. Don't let her walk around the house like that. Why? It's just making it worse. That's making the fire grow. Put the fucking fire out.
That's not
and
making.
Just talk to her.
That's not making the fire worse. Actually,
come on, man. Yes, the fuck it is.
So now I'm finna stop you right there. See, the thing about females is, I really believe y'all been dropped on y'all heads.
You know what? This is the shit that get us into arguments on this show all the time.
It doesn't matter.
Goofy last week. We got dropped on our head this week.
Just listen. Just listen. It's mighty funny to me is that you can talk about presentation and try to hide that behind communication when you're doing the same childish dumb shit. You're presenting the same plate to your man that you're talking about you don't want to present it to you. I often tell people, look at two things different ways. So instead of you serving the trash to your man, the slamming the doors, the attitude, the huffing and puffing, you know what I'm saying? Remember who you talking to first. You're telling me that you're supposed to hand me a garbage pail full of shit and then I'm supposed to reciprocate with some nice shit? If you out of your fucking mind, I don't know who you think you're talking to. If you was in jury court right now, you would be losing this shit because I'm on the case. I'm on the case.
Whatever.
Right now,
So you saying me telling you that I want to get fucked?
Wait a minute. That's not what I said.
It's trash?
No, that's not what I said.
I told you in a bad way. What did I say wrong?
You said.
That's why I said it's going to always come down to ego. Y'all just don't like when y'all call down on shit.
Not talking about that. I was talking about specifically. So, again, we missed it, so we're going to go back. At the beginning of this, you just said that the way shit is presented to you on a plate, if you put it on the trash, that you won't accept that. So I'm trying to figure out in my mind why you think that you presenting some shit to your man on a trash top is going to be acceptable. And what that is
what was trash about what I presented? What did I say that was so trash?
So we're going to rewind. What you said was, I want to get fucked so you don't see me huffing and puffing, slamming doors.
Those things are trash.
Oh yeah. Because I don't know anybody on this earth that's going to respond to attitude to some nice shit. It don't work like that. Because the name of this thing is communication for better sex with the partner. So first and foremost, if the act hadn't happened yet, the communication on your end is sucking because he missed the wavelength. I'm not talking about why it happened. I'm just talking about the communication of it. But I can say that huffing and puffing, catching an attitude, this and that, is going to end up in a bad scenario all the time.
On the behalf of a woman that's slamming doors and punching walls and sucking her teeth and is unhappy, she had to arrive there. She didn't just start acting like that on day. If you fucked on Friday, she not acting like that on Saturday.
Doesn't matter.
She got that way because you fucked her 2 Mondays ago.
Doesn't matter.
That's how she got to slamming the doggone doors.
Doesn't matter.
So you ignored the days in between to before she got like that. That's your job as a man, or that's her job as her spouse.
That's fine, but we're talking about communication. So if that person feel that way, it's still a proper way to communicate. And if you communicate with an attitude, that attitude will be received with another attitude. So the
I don't even think if it's said to a guy without an attitude that he's gonna respond well. I very rarely.
But you're not.
Feel
but you just said
one
that.
way on this show. I do not think men respond well
but this is
to
the key
being
thing.
called out on issues of sex.
But guess what? You're proving right now that as a woman, you're not being receptive to what you're called out on your bullshit, because you're sitting there talking about, you think that the attitude, slamming doors, huffing and sucking your teeth is acceptable. I don't know where.
I didn't say it was acceptable.
You're acting that way.
Say that she got there. But I'm saying how she arrived there is your fault.
It doesn't matter.
How she arrived to slamming doors is the man's fault.
It doesn't
he has
matter.
not been paying attention to how many days it's been since he fucked his wife. And I'm not even saying that he needed to fuck her during that time. What I'm saying is he needed to go to her sincerely and say, honey, I know it's been a week. That's all I'm saying. Talk to her.
So how would that...
Let her know you feel bad about her not getting no dick. Because it's a big deal for a woman not to get no dick.
Okay.
Period. It's big. Huge.
Idiocy does not excuse about communication.
Where is the idiocy in it?
Because the attitude behind it, you keep saying fault. So it's funny to me when women say, we're in a relationship, we need to communicate. You can't get there to a bad spot unless you let that spot happen. So it's kind of like when kids want something, they often ask their kids, hey dad, I want this, for Christmas. Mm-hmm. They start prepping them. Mm-hmm. And then, they get them ready for what is about to come down the pipeline. Mm-hmm. If my kids said to me, on Christmas Day, I need that new PlayStation 5. I done got all the good grades. I got an A, the whole 9. Guess what he's expecting on Christmas Day? He's expecting that PlayStation 5. Yeah. But guess who prepped me for it? I ain't asked the motherfucker what he want. Every day this motherfucker is in my face, boy. They got a sale going on them PlayStation 5s going on. It's like women can always ask you for shit that they want all the way up until, you know what I'm saying? They say hold on. They say they break that into the scenario. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give you a scenario.
Okay.
A scenario for me, you know what I'm saying, is like, I hate when my woman say, I know we in a drought for a threesome. I'm right there with you. Bitch, no you're not. You're not in no drought with me. Cause you can fucking bust a nut anytime you want to. The threesome that I'm trying to get ain't there. The woman don't give a fuck that it's not there. Hold on. Cause you're gonna try to tell me about me. And I'm gonna show you something about you. It's about what I want. I'm not saying I need that threesome, but don't tell me you in a drought with me. You're not in a drought with me. Because when you horny and you need to get off, you can get one off.
But when I want pussy, if I want pussy, I want pussy, and you can't give me pussy, so I'm in a drought with you. No. The fuck you talking about?
You're not in no drought with me.
How so?
You're not in a drought with me because guess what? Can you still get off from your man?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Woman can still get.
So
the man still get off with the woman.
So hold on.
But he just might want some other pussy. So he's in the same boat.
So since it don't matter, then that's what I'm trying to say to you, that if it don't matter, then let that man stay out front and you stay in the room and you bust that nut in that room by yourself. If it don't matter, it does matter because you want this individual, what is your significant other, to do it, not you yourself. The same way, if I'm in a drought and I feel a certain way, We're not talking about your personal feelings. I'm talking about my personal feelings. Don't tell me you are where I am. Because you can't tell me where I am, just like I can't tell you where you are. You don't really care about the significance of, hey, if we don't fuck or whatever this and that, I want to get fucked, but hey, you hurt, your knee hurt, your back hurt, whatever the case may be. But you still catch that attitude. You know why? Because it's how you feel. So don't tell me how the fuck I feel when I want something. But I don't kick and bitch and complain about the shit to the woman. That's the fucking difference. I'll be like, okay, cool. And you say that you in the struggle with me. I don't see you in the struggle, but you say you in the struggle with me, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me how I feel because I could say the same shit that you just said. Hey, it been 2 Mondays ago. Well, fuck, it been a month for me. Same scenario.
But your woman is the woman who is having threesomes with a man who is not having threesomes is still in a drought because there's something she's getting from the threesome that she's not getting from her partner. So she's in a drought if she's not having them.
You're still talking about personal, and we're not talking about personal. So your feelings don't matter, just like they don't matter for the guy that you're talking about. So you're telling him to disregard his feelings, his back, his pain, his everything. It's the same fucking scenario. Even though you want to say and think it's not, it's the same scenario. Miss, sis.
It's not the same. But I want to go back to a point you made. You said, see, women are so good for asking for this until it comes up for in this situation they become bad communicators. There's a big reason why.
Well, I'm talking about the presentation. I was just covering.
Let me tell you
one specific thing that you're talking about.
Let me tell you, for me personally, why the slamming the doors and the buildup, I believe, is associated with. It's associated with the fact that she's wanted you every day since 2 Mondays ago, and you haven't wanted her. It's not about her. A woman can initiate sex, cool. You can communicate sex. I applaud them. But there's something I need. I need to know my man wants me the way I want him. So even though I might want it to get fucked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I may have slammed that door out of real frustration that I wasn't willing to go out there and just sit on his dick or just whip his dick out or do what you're saying is better presentation. I wasn't willing to do that because I wanted to see if he wanted me for a change. It feels good to be cooking some shit and your man come up behind you and grab your titties and put his hard dick on your ass. That lets you know that he's turned on by you. I don't want to be the one, and I hope a lot of ladies out there, because I don't want to
I'm glad you brought that up,
are saying, I don't want to feel like I always want the other person. How about that person showing me that he wants me? So I won't put all the blame on the slamming the doors on the guy. It's an emotional thing for the woman also. Like, damn, is he on Instagram looking at bad bitches and he just don't want to look at me tonight? Or what is it? Because I've been trying to get this man to give me some attention for 2 weeks and he's not. That's why I'm slamming the doors. That's why she's breaking the glasses.
I had a conversation. I'm gonna cover this real quick. I had a conversation not too long ago with a female. And this female said that the guy that she was with was a jealous guy. And it based upon the social media shit. Social media, a lot of times I feel that not only social media and just in the world that we're in, a lot of times we're disconnected from the other person. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because just like I told her, a lot of times I think that the disconnect between the male and the female is things that's going on. You have two type of people: spirit people and mood people. I consider myself like a mood person. And what a mood person really is, and I think, and this is game for just women in general. Mood people, you can put them in moods. You can also take them out of moods. I've been a lot of time in a great mood and can actually go see my lady, pick up from work or this and that. And my lady can actually not say hi to me or do anything. She could go directly into her phone. And she stays into that phone and scrolls and texts and do all that type of shit and then say, hey, baby, know what mood she just put me in? I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your ass. Continue talking to whoever the fuck you was on the phone with, whoever you was Instagramming, whoever you was on Facebook with, whoever you was in that brightened up your day before you decided to speak to me. A lot of times I think women miss that type of shit and they don't get those type of reactions because in that scenario, she told me that she says, thank you for people who said they like her pics. I said, do you know this person? No. I said, well, why in the fuck did you take your time out of your day to say thanks to a complete anonymous stranger? And sometimes in relationships, I think women just don't know what's going on. I think you sometimes need to see what's affecting your guy and what's putting him in certain moods. And if that's the mood that you're not looking for, I'm quite sure at the back end of it, there's something going on that's turning his mood to I don't want to be around her because of this. If you have spirit people who, to me, they're always happy. They're always nice. They're always in a good mood.
Jovial.
And this and that. And I think those two have the most discommunication, especially when you're talking about people that's in those type of relationships. So if you're saying, hey, I want this guy to pay attention to me more or whatever, this and that, I'm quite sure you probably miss certain things that the guy has said to you that's putting him in the type of mood that's keeping him from you.
Right.
And those type of things happen all the time, believe it or not. We are in a world right now where we're in a selfish world, selfish act. You know what I'm saying? So it goes like that. Like, I can't stand, like, especially for me, I can't stand, like, if I wake up in the fucking morning time and this person is on the computer, this person is on their phone, like, damn, in the morning time?
Yeah.
So now I got to deal with that shit in the morning time. I got to deal with that shit driving you home. I got to deal with that shit at night. I got to deal with that shit all the time, and I'm supposed to think of you in what way? Because to me, you're getting attention from everybody else that you're talking to. Whatever pictures that you're posting, whatever interaction that you're doing, all those interactions are going other places except for where it's supposed to be.
And I think in a situation like that, you have to contribute to that conversation or the issue by saying, what am I contributing? You know, am I lighting up when I see my partner? There are things that women are doing because they might be neglected in a whole nother area. Are you greeting your partner? Do you greet your partner with a hug and a kiss when you see her? Are you happy to see her? Those things are called rules of engagement. It takes two to tango. So you see each other. Are you engaged?
That's cool.
If you
But
gotta
that's the
be,
only thing.
if you are not engaged in your partner, then it's easy to fall subject to social
But
media.
this is the only thing. But this is the only thing that I want to remind you of. You can say rule of engagement all you want to, but what you have to also remember is who is the person complaining. If you are the person that's complaining about this guy that won't pay you no attention, guess who really have the problem?
You can't say that.
Hold on. Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. You have a problem that you want fixed. Okay, you're having what you just said, because you have a habit of doing this. So I'm gonna do this again. So you just catch up to me. You're telling this person to change. Ain't that what you just said? You said how this person greets you or how this person
No,
is
I'm
rules of
just
engagement. Hold on.
saying that there's a reason why a partner or a spouse or a friend even is approaching you. The first 5 minutes in your present is and they're in their phone. As a person that does service to other people, who speaks to other people, I'm gonna command the attention when I walk in. When I want someone to hear me or pay attention to me, I know how to make that happen. But if a person that I've been in presence before is not, I've had people, I've walked in the room and they just don't like me. And know how I can tell? Because everybody in that room wants to know where I've been, what's coming up next. Oh my God, you're so great. And it's a bitch over there in the corner. She's the only one in the corner. Therefore, I know she hating or she having a bad day. So when the next time I'm around her, the engagement is just different. I don't need to pay attention to her. She's someone that is not a fan of Kana. So you know what? I don't worry about things I cannot change. I'm going to focus on the people who are engaging with me. The one person who is not, sorry. People need that to live and breathe. You said something very profound tonight. It's about being happy. Well, if being engaged with, conversated with, hugged, kissed, talked to, if engaging makes a person feel whole, that's what makes them feel happy, then that's what makes them feel happy. Then you have to be that happiness. Engage with them.
Okay, so if that person is engaging and they're happy with other people, I just said
I'm
that.
just saying that they're not getting it somewhere, and that's why they're getting it elsewhere.
And that's why I'm saying, take your ass onto that side. You know, this is as simple as A, B, and C.
It's not always that simple.
It is that simple.
Because the people who engage and make you laugh are not the people you go to bed with. I'm sure at people's jobs, there are people who make you very jovial, make you want to skip and fly because they're so inspirational to you. And then the moment you goddamn go home, it's a whole different
Then leave that relationship.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Every relationship that doesn't give you the same joy that little kids give you at work does not deserve to be ended. You just need to find out what is it.
At that job. What you talking about?
There are some people who go to work and
but I'm not one of them, and I'm talking about me. But I'm talking about me.
I understand that, but there's something in there.
Don't tell me that I can't do that.
Let me finish. Sometimes it's not even the people. Because you can't take those people home. Sometimes it's not a person. Sometimes it's a thing. Sometimes it's a place. So let's take this for instance. Let's say it's a place that makes you happy. You go home and you share that place and say, baby, the beach makes me so happy. Please take me to the beach. even though you might not like the beach, if the beach makes your person that you're trying to be with happy, goddamn it, take it to the beach. Just go to the fucking beach. That is as simple as I can say it. The relationship that doesn't deserve to be ended. Baby, I don't like the beach, so I don't think we should be together. That's whack as fuck. You'll be starting over for the rest of your life.
Then we're just gonna be starting over, cause that shit sound good, but guess what? Just because I want to fucking go to the strip club every goddamn night, don't fucking mean that I'm fucking allowed to go. Cause you hear what she's telling y'all women? Just let that nigga go, because shit makes him happy. That's what you just said.
So beautiful.
So fucking simple.
I would say to the woman, go to the fucking strip club with your man, or let him go. Happiness is everything.
Guess what? But guess what?
It's everything.
There's a lot of people.
I wouldn't say
there's a lot of women. Guess what? But you're not a lot of women. A lot of women gonna tell you, bitch. Fuck that. She gonna be like, fuck. I didn't turn nothing around.
Yes, you did.
I just told you something just as simple, that everything ain't just black and white.
And that's the same thing I said to you. Alpha.
That's cool, but I also
you love to hate.
That's
I just said the same thing.
That's right.
Everything
and guess what?
Isn't black and white.
That's right.
There's always a gray area.
And you also told me that I can't get rid of that relationship. And yes, the fuck I can.
I'm just saying that you would have to start over your relationship.
I don't care about starting over. You have to know the individual. That does not matter. You have to know the individual, and if that individual don't like zoos, then don't be with someone that don't like to go to the fucking zoo.
That's crazy. You would actually end a relationship. Everything is perfect. The only thing is she likes outdoors.
In a
you
relationship.
Don't like outdoors. You would end a relationship over something like that?
If it's bothering me, yes.
That's a deal breaker?
If it's bothering me, yes. There's certain things that bother you, yes.
Okay, but now you're talking about that's over things that you just don't fancy. Going to the beach ain't something that could bother a person.
I'm gonna show you something.
It's just something that you have to do that you really don't enjoy. Big deal.
I watched the podcast not too long ago, and the guy was in an open relationship. Mm-hmm. What he said about that open relationship, he said that there was a girl that she wanted to go to, and don't quote me on this shit, but he said she wanted to go to a B2K concert. Mm-hmm. He was like, fucking go with somebody else. Like, I don't fucking want to go. And the women in there was looking like you. The women were in there was like, why? She want to go to... I don't want to be in a B2K concert. There's other men out there for that. So if you want to go with someone else, he was like, we're in an open relationship, find another motherfucker to take you in. And guess what? That's his fucking prerogative to do it. Don't tell me, like, because you like to go to the zoo, I have to fucking go to the zoo. I don't fucking like opera. I ain't gonna be in that motherfucker because you like it.
Oh my God.
Like, that's just what it is.
That's crazy because women meet men every day that are so into sports and they hate it.
That's cool.
And you know what? They're not willing to not date that guy.
That's the difference between
men and women. Because they don't like sports.
But that's the difference between men and women. Nuts. There's difference between men and women, what women will do and what men won't do. That's just the reality of it. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. But I'm saying it is what it is. So before earlier when I was talking, I said we're in a nuance and a new age of living in, like what I brought up earlier. I said, hey, maybe me and my lady need to be in a different house. Most women will flip they wig about that because they don't want to do it. They want to stay conventional. But you want to go into new conventional shit, but you don't want to when it comes to you. But when it comes to the man, you won't, hey, you need to change your ways and thinking and everything else.
Y'all be on some other shit.
Hey, I feel you, but guess what? You can't change shit. So like I said, if you want that motherfucker to take you to the zoo, then that's what it is. This is our time, and I just want you to know, thank you for coming to the show. It's another episode of Relation. It's your boy 51 Spade, Alpha Male God. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. That's both platforms, and this is.
And you can find me on Facebook at Kana Lassiter, on Instagram at Kana Lassiter, and on Twitter at Kana Lassiter.
Peace.